Robert, and I'm an addict. Robert. All right, let's open it up with a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. All right, page 42 in the basic text. Continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Step 10 frees us from the wreckage of our present. If we do not stay aware of our defects, they can drive us into a corner that we can't get out of clean, so the coast is not clear. One of the first things we learn in Narcotics Anonymous is that if we use, we lose. By the same token, we won't experience as much pain if we can avoid the things that cause us pain. Continuing to take a personal inventory means that we form a habit of looking at ourselves, our actions, attitudes, and relationships on a regular basis. We are creatures of habit and are vulnerable to our old ways of thinking and reacting. At times, it seems easier to continue our old rut of self-deception or destruction than to attempt a new and seemingly dangerous route. We don't have to be trapped by our old patterns. Today, we have a choice. The 10th step can help us correct our living problems and prevent their reoccurrence. We examine our actions during the day. Some of us write about our feelings, explaining how we felt and what part we might have played in any problems which occurred. Did we cause someone harm? Do we need to admit that we were wrong? If we find difficulties, we make an effort to take care of them. When these things are left undone, they have a way of festering. The old station wagon thing. I remembering in early recovery that if I'd put it off for a day or two, most of the little stuff that I needed to clean up, I'd forget. So a lot of times I made that as a habit, right? Well, that's 2 days ago, that's 3 days ago or whatever, instead of going back and trying to clean it up right away. And as a result, I got out of the habit of really doing a 10th step at all back then. And this is a very important step. This is the preventative maintenance to making sure that I don't start going backwards around here. We've done all this work to clean up our side of the street and get on the path of recovery. And if we don't stay tuned up to questioning our motives and way we're acting, the way we're treating people, really in every situation, to try to be a better person than what we were before, then we're going to go backwards. And just like anything else with self-will left unattended is going to stay self-will run riot for me. That is my default setting, right? So I have to redirect from surrender and look for God's will. I got to do the same thing to try to start living in the assets instead of my defects. Left unattended, left without direction, I will go back to the tool that I always use. That's just going to be the habit that I'm going to do. And it's going to take a while to create new and healthy habits. And, really, for me, it really wasn't until probably about 3 or 4 years ago that my first thoughts stopped being the wrong ones right off the bat. I mean, the first 16 years of recovery, I could bank on that my first reactionary thought to any situation that happened was going to be wrong. I could just let it go right on by because it was usually going to be based on fear. And it's only been the past few years that some of my intuitive thoughts right off the get are from kind and loving places. It took a long time for the steam of all that anger and frustration and pounding the square peg in a round hole on self-will run riot to dissipate, and if I don't stay diligent about it and vigilant, and always reevaluating myself, then I'm going to go back that direction. It's easy. I mean, the habit of wanting to point my finger at everybody else and not focus on me, it's long and deep. It's ingrained in my brain. This step can be a defense against the old insanity. We can ask ourselves if we are being drawn into old patterns of anger, resentment, fear, dishonesty, and selfishness. I added a couple things to that. Do we feel trapped? Are we setting ourselves up for trouble? Are we too angry, hungry, lonely, or tired? Halt. Are we taking ourselves too seriously? Are we judging our insides by the outside appearance of others? Do we suffer from some physical problem? The answer to these questions can help us deal with difficulties of the moment. We no longer have to live with the feeling that we have a hole in the gut. That's a huge indicator for me. When my gut starts flip flopping, something's wrong immediately. It is almost without fail. When my stomach goes uneasy, there's some kind of fear that's been initiated. Something appears that it's not going my way, and if I don't reset into surrender and just go back into that mode, okay, what's my part in this? What's my role? How would my God want me to handle this situation, and get back into that mode? Then the next step is how do I make this go my way? And then ego steps in from there. And in this new way of life, man, I'm trying to let the intuitive side of love and honesty and those kind of things take over. And for that to happen, I have to let go of my selfish desires of the way I think things need to go, because they're often wrong. A lot of our chief concerns and major difficulties come from our inexperience of living without drugs. I didn't have any experience doing that shit when I came here. Drugs were my solution to life when I first started using back in the day. That was my coping mechanism. All I did was stuff it back in the back and blot it out and go on and keep on trucking. So I didn't live with life. I lived life like I should. I didn't process my feelings. I didn't understand my feelings. And so I got to start gaining some new experience on these things. Often we ask an old timer what to do, and we are amazed at the simplicity of the answer. The 10th step can be a pressure relief valve. And we don't want to stack up unresolved issues. We work this step while the day's ups and downs are still fresh in our minds. We list what we have done and try not to rationalize our actions and justify. This may be done in writing at the end of the day. The first thing we do is stop. And then we question ourselves and our motives. Then we take the time to allow ourselves the privilege of thinking. They finally tell us we can do that in the 10th step. We examine our actions, reactions, and motives. We often find that we've been doing better than we've been feeling. Not always. Depends on whether we're on our A game or recovery or not. This allows us to examine our actions and admit fault before things get any worse. We need to avoid rationalizing. We promptly admit our faults, not explain them, justify them. We work this step continuously. This is a preventative action. The more we work this step, the less we will need the corrective part of this step, right? So the more I'm centered spiritually, the less I have to do those other parts, because I'm not going to be cleaning it up. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be living in faith and love and not in fear and insanity. This step is a great tool for avoiding grief before we bring it on ourselves. We monitor our feelings, emotions, fantasies, and actions. By constantly looking at ourselves, we are able to avoid repeating the actions that make us feel bad. Staying honest, vigorous honesty is very important. We need this step even when we're feeling good and when things are going well. Good feelings are new to us, and we need to nurture them. In times of trouble, we can try the things that work for us in the good times. If you start feeling crappy after you've been around here for a few days, all of a sudden, 9 times out of 10 is that, like it says in some of our other literature, that we stopped doing one or more of the things that we were doing in the beginning that gave us sanity to begin with. Usually we stop praying first, then we see our meeting attendance slip back. Then we don't talk to our sponsor regularly. We don't want to talk to our sponsor because we know we're not doing any of the stuff we're supposed to do. And our sponsor is probably going to remind us of that, So when I'm not doing those things, I don't want to hear somebody tell me to do the things that I've already been unwilling to do. So why waste their time? Why waste my time, right? So I just keep on putting my head down, blotting out that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to. And then the hole gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm chasing instant gratification in one form or another, trying to fill the uneasiness because I start treating my dis-at-ease with non-spiritual things. And that's always been my pattern. We have the right to feel good. We have a choice. The good times can also be a trap. The danger is that we forget that our first priority is to stay clean right in the beginning. For us, recovery is more than just pleasure. It is life or death. So I want to stop on that one part right there. So a lot of you guys know my story. I got clean a little before I turned 18, and just before I turned 22, I opened up my own body shop and was getting married. And so 3.5 years clean, I get married, and I'm getting ready to set up the White House and pick a fence. And I make the conscious decision that I'm going to check out of service. I'm going to check out of going to meetings regularly. I'm going to build my White House and pick a fence and happily ever after. It's what good, hardworking young men do. And I'm spiritually well balanced enough to do that, so I think I can do that. And I forget, and things were really, dude, everything, I had the Midas touch. Everything I was doing made money. And it was like, I was working my ass off for it, but man, the ability to make money was like a drug to me. And so I kept throwing myself harder and harder and harder into it, investing more and more money and more time. Greed kicked in. It wasn't good enough. And something had to give. So what had to give? My service position. I was at that time, I was driving out to Indian Springs Prison and Jean Prison, each one of those once a week for H&I meetings. And that took a lot of time. So that definitely had to come off the top of the table. And then I, went from going to meetings every day on those other nights and down to 2 or 3, down to those were in the way too. And then the next thing I knew, I wasn't going to meetings at all. And I was doing so fucking wonderful without you guys that I just didn't think I needed you guys anymore. I had this. So by the time I had just before 4 years, and it's a little foggy, I don't even remember if I actually got my 4-year medallion. I don't think I went to go even get the medallion. Because I was that busy that I didn't go to celebrate. And I went out and got loaded. I had that idea, that bright idea. I hadn't thought about or felt like getting high or loaded one time this whole period. Everything was going great. There was no temptation. Really, I wasn't tempted by really too much other crazy stuff except for working and making that dream come true. And right out of the clear blue, the dude that was helping me wire up this brand new chopper that I just got done building, he was pretty wired, and I knew he was wired because I was hooking him up with the guy that was getting him wired, because I still had an old playmate in the neighborhood where my body shop was, and without just the right scenario, my head just says, you can do a couple of 8 balls and come back in 2 weeks. What the hell? It's only 4 years clean. Screw this shit, man. Go out and have fun on this new chopper. You haven't even had a legal drink of alcohol so far in your life. You deserve to go out and have fun on this new bike. Go out, do a couple 8 balls, come back in 2 weeks. You're humble enough. I remember that as clear as day, my head telling me, you're humble enough to come back and take a white cheat chop. Ego bigger than this friggin' room, man. Monster. And I'm telling myself, I'm humble enough to come back and take a white chip, So, I do way more than 2 8 balls in 2 days, and I stayed out for quite some time. So the good times can also be a trap. The danger is we may forget that our first priority is to stay clean. I have to stay clean if I expect my life to keep going in this great direction. For me to think that I can continue to have a prosperous, vibrant life without keeping my clean time, the most important, valuable thing that I own in my life, is a deception I can't afford to have. No matter what. This has to be maintained for everything else to happen. For us, recovery is more than just pleasure. It is life and death. We need to remember that everyone makes mistakes. We will never be perfect. However, we can accept ourselves by using step 10. By continuing a personal inventory, we are set free in the here and now from ourselves and the past. We no longer justify our existence. This step allows us to be ourselves. And I did not, even though you expected me to do a lot more adding on those, I did not, because there's a lot more on this in the step working guide and the questions and everything, the practical application of doing a 10th step. So first thing we have here is I'm going to read something out of the step working guide. I know I didn't tell anybody to bring their book, but there's only a few paragraphs in here that I'm going to be reading on page 81 if you have your step working guide. At the bottom, I'm just going to read the part. It says, the 9th step is not a step that can be neatly contained within a particular time frame. We don't write our 8-step list and then resolutely start. Wait a minute. No, I'm way off on the wrong page. That's 8th step. Wrong page. Next page. Page 95. There's where you go. That looks better. Now I got all the right stuff out here. We ought never be organized. It's in the traditions. All right. So on page 95, the top here, it says, through working the first 9 steps, our lives have changed dramatically, way beyond what we expected when we first came to Narcotics Anonymous. We've become more honest, humble, and concerned about others, less fearful, selfish, and resentful. But even such profound changes aren't guaranteed to be permanent. Because we have a disease of addiction, we can always return to what we were before. Recovery has a price. It demands our vigilance. We have to continue doing all of the things that we've been doing for our recovery so far. We have to continue to be honest, to have trust and faith, to pay attention to our actions and reactions, and to assess how those are working for us or against us. We also have to pay attention to how our actions affect others. And when the effects are negative or harmful, promptly step forward and take responsibility for the harm caused and for repairing it. In short, we have to continue to take personal inventory and promptly admit our wrongs. As you can see, the 10th step has us repeat much of the work we did in steps 4 through 9, though in a much shortened format. The format suggested in this guide is one that covers in a general way the elements of a personal inventory. Some of us may find that we need to add questions that focus on a specific area that are affecting us as individual, that affects our individual recovery, to the questions already added in this guide. We may find some additional areas upon which to focus from. We got some different problems. We're not all cookie cutter type stuff around here. And then it actually refers in here to this IP number 9, Living the Program. Our sponsor may have a specific direction for us at this point. As noted before, this guide is meant to be a starting point, not a final word on any of the steps. So I always tell guys, when the first time you're going around to get on step 10, to get the Living the Program information pamphlet. It's a very simple one, and for the first 30 days, try to make it a nightly practice to do this, just to get in the process, at least at the end of the day, a little wrap up of surmising your day, of what it is. And in here it says, what worked for us, the NA Daily Journal. The purpose of this daily inventory is to keep track of who we are and what we're doing today. Try to answer each question every day. Keep your answers as simple and as honest as you can. If you miss a day, do not make it up later. Limit your answers and concerns to the past 24 hours and complete the questions at the end of the day. If you wish to share some of this journal, we suggest that you do so verbally. Remember that a daily inventory is not a test. There are no right or wrong answers. Do not get upset if you could have done better or if you fail to live up to your expectations of yourself. Remember, this is a program of growth and recovery, and if you are clean today, you are doing something right. No matter how ugly it gets, at the end of the day, as long as we go to bed clean, we had a good day. Just for today, my thoughts will be on my recovery, living and enjoying life without the use of drugs. Question number 1, am I clean today? Check that box. How have I acted differently today? If I had any new attitudes or whatever, something I'm working on that maybe prayed on that morning, did I carry that into my afternoon? Did my disease run my life today, Chris?
Did my disease run my life today?
Yes. No. Okay. No? So if so, how did it not run your life today?
Because it hasn't manifested in other areas besides the use of drugs, like acting out on character defects.
Great answer. Okay. So what did I do today that I wish I had not done, Zaid?
What did I do?
What did you do today that you wish you had not done?
I could have devoted more time to my step work, but instead I decided to fuck off time and go in and out of my step work, and I didn't get it finished.
Okay. What have I left undone that I wish I had done, Antonio?
Pack.
Pray?
No, pack.
Just pack? Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing else in the day that... Okay. So it says how would be the next thing, so there wouldn't be no much there. Was today a good day, Sean?
Yes, sir.
Were you happy, Raul?
To a degree. Yeah.
Happy, joyous, and free, living the dream?
To a degree,
Okay. Were you serene today, Raul?
for the most part.
Okay. Just for today, I have faith in someone in NA who believes in me and wants to help me in my recovery. Did I talk to my sponsor today, Daniel?
I did not.
Did I attend a meeting today? Jeff?
Yes.
Where?
Here.
Okay. Very good.
That's half a meeting.
It's not even done yet. You ain't no cookie till the meeting's over. So, did I share my experience, strengths, and hopes today, Albert?
No, not today. I didn't go to a meeting.
But did you share them with anybody else throughout the
Oh
day?
yeah, I talked to Sean today.
Well, barking orders to an employee is not necessarily sharing experience,
We don't
strengths.
always bark orders.
Okay,
That's right.
but that's what bosses' jobs are.
I get to treat my people with dignity and respect.
Good.
I give the same back.
So, okay, good. You get to carry it into your work life as well. Good job. All right. Who are the people in my life that I trust today? X? Fuck us, right? Okay, yeah. Not you fucking guys, but my family. I get it. I wouldn't trust us either. I don't.
And those who that's in my life for a reason, that shows up on a regular basis.
Right. Okay. Who has trust in me today, Adam?
Who has trust in me?
Yeah, who has trust in you?
Who trusts me?
Who they?
My family.
I trust you.
Do you trust me? All right.
Yeah, you hit the record button.
There you go.
Oh, wait, no.
All right. Just for today, I will have a program. I try to follow it to the best of my ability. Did I read from our literature today, Chris?
Yes.
All right. What steps did I consciously work, Saeed?
Today I was actually working the first step in my step working guide, just to wait.
All right. Then that's an easy yes. You consciously did. And did I admit my powerless today, Antonio?
Yeah, I asked for help several times throughout the day.
Okay. Was I able to put my trust in my higher power today, Sean?
Absolutely. Every day.
Amen.
All day.
What did I learn about myself today, Raul?
That I am still very simple.
Very sick boy. You're just now learning that? All right. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. Did I make any amends today, Daniel?
I did not.
You stayed clean today, right?
I did.
Is that an amend to yourself?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Sometimes we're doing better than we think. And sometimes we do so much stuff that we're living that we're not always giving ourselves credit for. I mean, the change becomes automatic too for us sometimes. So we don't, we weigh our lives today by the scale of what we used to do and what we are today. And for most of it's light years of difference. My path has narrowed considerably of what was acceptable behavior before and what I disappoint myself with today, Did I make any amends? We did that one. Did I make any amends today? Do I owe any amends today? Jeff?
No,
None?
I didn't screw anybody over today.
Okay. Did I admit fault to anyone today, Albert?
No. We be clean today.
Didn't do nothing wrong?
No.
Perfect. Nice. Love that. It's not over yet. It's not over. You still got time to hurt somebody's feeling. There you go. That's the way to do it. All right. Did I worry about yesterday or tomorrow, X? Yeah, that's a good one for you, huh?
I'm powerless. You know what I'm saying? And 99% of my life, being having a disability that I can't overcome, I can't conquer it, and I just have to live with it. So I wake up at a disadvantage on a daily basis. So the first thing I do, I pray You know what I'm saying? And I just rely on, God and they help me provide.
So we have that saying that's, if you pray, why worry? If you worry, why pray? You were in an extreme situation, but to this point so far, without the buts of that, have all your needs been met your whole life so far? 100%.
Pretty much.
So why do we still doubt that that's not going to happen again today? We still have fear about those things, even though God's proven that is.
Because I'm still looking for what I can control. I want some power somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? It just gives me something that I feel if I work hard at something, I deserve something. And I just haven't found what I deserve. You know, it's new. This is all new.
Right.
So I'm working to it, but I'm saying I ain't perfect.
No, but the evidence, to me, that's the exercise. I don't say that I don't get afraid of not getting my way or want some control or some things coming, but the coming around the corner when I worry about things, especially things that are well beyond my control. I mean, I try to put myself in your situation as much as I can to think about that. But the truth is that each and every one of us, our needs have been supplied 100% so far to this point in our life. So the only thing I am worried about when I get down to the exact nature of what I'm worried about is, will my needs be met to my level, my requirements, my ego's demands? I know there's a free hot and a cot around every corner in this neighborhood down here. There's a come up, there's an asset somewhere here. I may not like the conditions, but my needs will always be met. It's my ego's demand on the situation having to be a specific way that makes me worry and get anxiety about these things. So that's where the worry comes from, that I'm not going to be kept in a manner of which I've become accustomed, or somebody's going to disappoint me or something like that. But the absolute faith that in the end, everything always works out. And if it hasn't worked out yet, it's not over yet. And how should I doubt? I mean, animals and birds, like it was explained to me, you got the little sparrows flying around in the air, and they don't worry about where tomorrow's food's coming from. They instinctively know that if they get up, flap their wings around, and they fly around, that they're going to find and come across the food that they need. And they know that tomorrow they get up and they do the same thing, and their needs are going to be met again. And they have that proof there. And it's not even necessarily a faith in that higher power so much is just the law of guess what? Mathematically, whether I believe in God or not, my needs have been met, So why worry about it? I'm going to be okay. Even if King Baby doesn't get his way and treated the way I think he should be treated, and I'm going to be all right. Can I accept myself today, Chris?
Yes.
All right. Just for today through NA, I'll try to get a better perspective on my life. Did I feel like I was a part of humanity today, Saeed? Yeah. Did I allow myself to become obsessed with anything today, Antonio?
Yes.
I'm sure you have. What's her name?
Chris.
Chris? Oh, okay. All right. What has God given me to be grateful for today, Sean?
Wow, knowledge apparently.
Oh, a lot. You woke me up today, gave me another chance to be the best version of myself. And, keep learning, be teachable. Like every aspect of my life.
You got a loving and kind, generous boss?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's we could go on and on. Everything that's in my life today is because of God. I mean, my higher power. Just a miracle, honestly,
Yeah.
People just to be able to wake up on the right side of the dirt, the chance of this thing,
Okay. So that was the if so what. So we did that one too. Am I willing to change today, Raul?
Yes.
Did I pray or meditate today, Adam?
Yes.
How did this affect me? That's back to you. If you prayed or meditated,
still.
you're still here.
Still here.
Here and clean. What spiritual principles have I been able to practice in my life today? I'll take that one. Lately I've really been trying to, especially when it comes to my coworkers, up my game of being considerate and kind to them and not be the typical ball busting mechanic shop kind of guy to them. And, so been able to do some really cool things for some people that I work with lately that I'm not going to talk about, but just little levels that, I used to, doing nice shit. I used to just think you're a punk doing shit like that. It just, and for me in recovery, being sometimes nice, I think sometimes, I don't want people to think I'm too damn nice because I still have a fear, people think that you're a mark when you're too nice, that's an underlying fear I have. That's just of my ego. What was the most important thing in my life today? Or what was the most important thing in my life today? Staying clean? Absolutely, yes, it was. We do have a few more back over here. So just for today, I will be unafraid. My thoughts will be on my new associations, people who are not using and who have found a new way of life. So long as I follow that way, I have nothing to fear. Have I given of myself today without expectation of anything in return, Daniel?
Yes. It's a call from a newcomer. And I was supposed to be getting my workout in before this meeting. So I missed half my workout being on the phone. So yes.
Okay. Was there fear in my life today, Jeff?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Did I call or visit someone in the program today?
Yep.
You're here, right? Okay. Did I pray for the well-being of another person today, X? I know who she is, too. All right. Was I happy today, Chris? Have I been peaceful today? Did I consciously remember that I have a choice today, Antonio?
I don't know that I consciously remember that, but it was reminded to me, and I did think about it during the meeting earlier. I'm like, you know what? Today I have a choice, because before when I was using it, felt like I was a robot. I didn't have a choice. It was just, automatic mode.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Then we can change direction too. Yeah. Most of my life, whatever that first thought that came in, it locked in the crosshairs, and that was the mission at hand until it was on like Donkey Kong till I got what I wanted once I had a first thought. And today, I can swap out to a plan A, B, or C a lot easier than I used to be. It doesn't have to be the straight line from A to B, get the cookie like I used to always think it had to be. It's not that way today. And at the end here, it says, Dear God, show me what I have done right and wrong today. Show me how I can better live and serve your will tomorrow. So we have a little bit what we need to work on for the next day. So again, this is it's a lengthy one. And the reason I only tell guys when I want to do it for the first 30 days is because for me, this is not practical to do every day for the rest of my life. It's a little longer, and I should get a basic sense for how I'm going to be doing this on my own later on, and get down to a little bit. If I'm doing everything else if I'm doing all this stuff and checking all the boxes in recovery of the stuff that I know I'm supposed to be doing on a regular basis, the long list of things is really not that. We're going to do it because we're in it. We're in the middle of the herd. We're doing the whole deal. We're not skimping on our program, and we usually know in our gut when we're doing the whole deal, and when we're just trying to skimp on a few items in the recipe, just trying to just get clean and chase the cookie or whatever it is that we're chasing for a while. So when we're on our A game, we know it. And when I'm living the program the way I know it's designed to be lived, it's pretty easy for me to do the simpler version, which we're going to get to on these other questions here now. Yeah. So after the living IP one here, so this 35 questions that's in the step working guide, questions, that's like, to me, it's the extreme example of questions, right? I mean, if you are so close and so far out of whack with your program and your whole life is a shit show, and you're stark raving clean on self-will run riot for a period of time, and you've been on the jagged edge of relapsing, and you want to stop just short of relapsing and not quite start over on the steps all the way, these 35 questions should show you exactly where we need to get back online with everything again. And if you can't find your problem of the whole, and because if you once you get this point, you're missing a lot of ingredients out of the recipe if you get this jacked up that you need all 35 of these questions to get you back on point. But it is crazy how we can easily forget the importance of one thing here or there and not do one thing, you know, and it's a good little reminder. So number one, have I reaffirmed my faith in a loving, caring God today? Where are we at, Chris?
Who's that, Adam? But I'll take it.
Oh yeah, Adam. Yeah.
Yeah, I reaffirmed today, yes. I prayed when I woke up.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, he is well acknowledging, thanking, and I want to.
Okay. 2, have I sought out the guidance of my higher power? Pretty much sounds about the same question, right? I love the redundancy sometimes. Asked it a slightly different way. Maybe that's a different result somehow. I don't know how they do that sometimes. Sometimes I think they wrote that book just to turn it into a book when it could have been a pamphlet. You know, if you got rid of the redundancy, which I hope they really do when they revise it here coming up, that a lot of the redundant questions are going to be going away is what I'm hoping for when NA rewrites this. So number 3, what have I done to be of service to God and the people around me today, Zaid?
What have I done? Well, I was attentive and what is the word? Like basically, I worked today, and I was I did everything that I could to be a part of completing the job throughout the day, and I was positive. I kept a positive attitude, even though at times I was bored or whatever it was, because it's not my company, it's someone else's. And I think it's best to give the best impressions that you can for someone.
Getting a paycheck.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's
you know, I mean, you know what we can do when we're getting by, and we know what we can do when we're really trying to give. And the questioning of our motives is the big part. You know, am I just giving because I feel blessed and I want to pass on a blessing? Is my motive that I just want to give 110% so I get that promotion? Then that's got a selfish motive attached to it. Am I just doing it because I want to make sure he calls me back for work again tomorrow? Yeah, you know, I mean, I think this question to me was kind of more asking about what was I doing to be of service to God's kids for something without strings attached to it, you know, whether it was.
I put $5 in the coffee pot today for the meeting, but I didn't drink it.
Good. Well, good. I mean, dude, any little thing is solid when it comes to that kind of stuff, you know. And those are actually the kind of things that, you know, usually my sponsor told me, he says, do some random acts of kindness and try not to get caught. You know, when you throw the extra money, try not to brag to everybody that you're doing it, stuff like that. And you were just asked the question, so you got the freebie on that. I'm just saying that when we're on this inventory thing, that it's okay to say what it is that we actually do, because the only way we learn what each of us is doing is by sharing those kind of things. You know, you throw the extra 5 or fin in there because you know that you're coming in here where Koala House is in here, and you know there's 25 people in here that ain't putting no money into the coffee fund, and they're drinking three pots of coffee, and you know you understand that there's a need, and you throw a little towards that cause, and that is being of service to your greater community. So good job. Gold star for Zaid. 4, has God given me anything to be grateful for today? Antonio?
Yes.
Okay. 5, do I believe that my higher power can show me how to live or better align myself with the will of that power? John?
Yes. As long as I practice being honest, open-minded, and willing, and to take action.
6, do I see old patterns in my life today, Raul?
Yes. Getting angry, things don't go my way. So I practice some surrender, let it go, acceptance, and we'll keep on.
Perfect. Now that worked out perfect because this is exactly the question I wanted to answer, and it comes this way right here. So number 7. You heard me when I went on the basic text part when I stopped in there and I added that extra stuff about selfishness and stuff like that at the end of that line. When we were, this step can be a defense against the old insanity. We ask ourselves if we are being drawn into old patterns of anger, resentment, fear. Still number 7, have I been resentful, selfish, dishonest, or afraid today? Where am I living in those 4 things? To me, those are like the 4 biggest defects of character that I lived in. So those being my biggest defects, my favorite tool, like your hammer and your crescent wrench, your pipe, your plumber, your monkey wrench. We most of us have 4 or 5 favorite tools that we use a lot of around here, and those are the 4 things that I use the most of. So when I'm living throughout my day, those are the things that I want to look for. Am I being selfish? Am I trying to take more of my fair share in this deal, or am I willing to let somebody, cut a sucker a break and let them get a little bit better off it than me? Leave a little meat on the bone for the next guy to get a little better than I do. Am I getting pissed off, wrath, the anger too quickly, and those kind of checkups for me, because anger has been something I've had to work on a lot, most of my recovery. And I like that the basic text, they stopped at it, they didn't add everything. I mean, they just say anger, resentment, or fear, but adding dishonesty and selfishness to that list, to me, that like completes it. I mean, because I pretty much those 5 things, because I'm old and I'm not, my eyes aren't wandering, so I don't have that other problem so much as far as, that some of you younger guys might have, chasing some pretty little thing around here. I don't have that so much on my plate, but, other guys might have a harder thing with, not undressing women with their eyes when they're walking in the rooms, have a little kind of those things going on. So we all have those list of those 4 or 5 things that are main things that we like to go to that are defects of character. And those are the main things, because this is a short version of our inventory that we want to look for, because those are the bad habits. Those are the things that we do that distance me from my higher power. When I'm selfish, I'm not caring what God's will is. I'm not seeking to do God's will. I want my will. I don't care what yours is or anybody else's. I'm not in consideration of anybody else's wants, desires, or needs. All I'm thinking about is me and mine and how I can get more of my fair share. And that's where I'm at when I'm selfish, and then I get angry because I'm not getting that, and then I'm fearful because it really doesn't seem like, it all just kind of takes place in all those things. So in that step working guide questions that we have, you notice that it's written in darker print than any of the other questions. So for me, whether it's those 4 things, or whether, if you've got a gambling problem, if you've been gambling, if you've been making a bet, that's, something that you might have a problem with, have you been acting out in that area? We look for those areas where we're acting out and not living our spiritual way of life. And we be honest with it, the whole thing about facing everything in recovery is looking at all the things that are not serving our spiritual life. And if we continue to do these things, I like to, if I continue to do things that I know my higher power wouldn't approve of me doing, and I do them anyway, then I'm not going to be in a good relationship with my higher power. If there's things that have been put on my gut, such as an amends that I should be making to somebody or something, reaching out to this person or that, if something in my spirit's calling me to go do something to be of service and I'm refusing to go do that, then I'm going in defiance of what my gut is telling me to do. And yes, this is kind of bridging into, the 11th step that we're coming into next. But before I'm going to be meditating and manifesting and praying on things, I have to be honest with myself in the 10th step enough to take a good look at it and how, whether these things are serving me or not, whether I want to hang on to them, whether I'm, it's easy to be sucked into saying that we're different people, but if we're still doing old behavior, we're not new people. It's not old behavior if we're still participating in an act. If we're still, I've seen guys that treat, chasing newcomers like it's an Olympic sport around here. Like they're gonna get a gold medal for it and shit. Is that the way we're living or not? Is that the way I think my heart? And it's not my judgment. It's our own personal judgment of what our heart tells us. Like we just got done talking about in step 9. If our heart says it's harm, if it's something that I need to work on, and we're all at different levels in this kind of stuff. I don't mess around with pornography. I gave that up at 60 days clean. I was 38 years old. I don't think I would have been doing that at 28 years old. I don't think it would have been possible. I don't think it would have been fitting. I'm not saying, not giving the gold light, but I had that shit since I was a very young boy, and it was always a part of my life. So I was ready to be a new man and let go of all those things. So if that's something that's in your life now and you're a young guy, don't be judging yourself by my ride, because that's not where you're at, and there's some stuff just comes as we grow old too, I also believe our level of surrender to our higher power deepens the older we get to too, because we realize more and more that the outside stuff isn't going to fix us. When we're young, we still think that, if I get her, it, and that just this right way, I think that's going to be really, really fun. And until you've had a good enough experience or had enough of those experiences to convince yourself otherwise, you're still going to believe the illusion that those things are good. So again, it all comes back to all that self-honesty. So let's blast through some more of these questions. That got you.
Okay, I had a question.
Okay.
Does doing impulsive or obsessive things, like even if it's not harming anyone or manipulating or anything like that, but it's just impulsive, obsessed, like binging like video games or binging TV shows or something like that, would that go against what you were just talking about? Like, would that be going outside of that realm of staying in the...
I go right back on that, kind of like me thinking that for me, I'm an addict, right? So I'm addicted to more. So anytime I push the button, push the limits of more obsessively and compulsively, I have a danger of making it unhealthy. I'm going to stay up too late to get up early to go to work in the morning because I was up playing a video game till 3:00 in the morning because I was really on one. So now I'm going to go to work half baked with only 2 hours sleep, right? Okay, so that's an unhealthy thing, right? If I'm locked into an engaged in game and I'm skipping my meeting that I normally go to for my recovery, and I'm skipping feeding my recovery because I'm in this real important game, that, I know how it is when we get into that, want to get that next level, whatever, that like, in these games today, it's not like you really even get anything, but whatever, it's exciting, that's why I don't, I don't mess with them, but I'll probably be getting one for the house soon with my grandkids. So we'll see how that goes here pretty soon. I have to just look at anything that can suck me in I can make it a bad defective character by allowing it to take control of me, just like the grip of the disease of addiction. The steps promise me freedom from active addiction. So that means I get to have some balance with these things. But if I don't engage, and put God and my recovery and my clean time first before these things, the video games, the porn, whatever it is, if I don't put these things ahead of that and have a higher level of priority on them, then I'm letting, the disease run my life. And that's exactly what the 10th step is about, is to make sure that these things do not back me into a corner that I can't get out of clean, even though it seems like harmless, innocent fun that everybody else gets to go do. Lots of people get to go enjoy alcohol and weed. I'm not that. I can't do that. Some people can do the video games, hardworking people do a lot of things, but I run them to ridiculous extremes. And if I keep jiggling the bag, you know, the monkey's going to get excited, and I'm not going to be able to get off till the monkey says it's time to get off. And that's what happens to me with the disease, you know, because I can get locked into that, and that just, you know, then turns into the just one more, happens with food, happens with sex, can be too much at the gym, any one of a number of things that it can be, you know. I mean, I can take perfectly healthy habits and make them unhealthy because I'm not in balance with my life, you know. 8, have I set myself up for disappointment, Adam?
Not today.
Okay. Number 9, have I been kind and loving towards myself today, Daniel?
Yes.
Okay. 10, have I been worrying about yesterday or tomorrow, Jeff?
Yes, really want to get some stuff accomplished.
Now. Right? Now. Yesterday. Okay. 11, did I allow myself to become obsessed about anything, Albert? Work. That time of year. Got to take it when you can get it right now. Economy looks like it's slowing down. I better get every dollar I can while it's here. Right? Yeah. Got to take it while you can. It's a hard thing. 12, have I allowed myself to become too hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? That halt thing. X.
I didn't eat
You didn't eat nothing? That lonely. That emphasis on the lonely part.
No anger though.
No, I ain't been angry.
So you're good there.
His anger flew out of here a couple days ago. Yeah, when I get hungry, real hungry, I start getting short. I get angry pretty quick. Yeah. That's why I never let that happen too much. All right. Am I taking myself too seriously in any area of my life, Chris?
No, I'm living in a state of humility.
Well, that wasn't very
100%?
In all areas, yeah.
All areas? Okay.
I gotta be humble in every aspect of my life.
14, do I suffer from any physical, mental, or spiritual problems? I skipped Zaid on that one. We ain't got all night. That's next week's chapter. We'll devote a whole hour to that question. No. Zaid, you got a quick answer for that one?
I'll just say yes.
There you go. We'll take the yes. We'll take the yes. 15, Antonio. Have I kept something to myself that I should have discussed with my sponsor? Yes. All right. Did your chicken liver die? I'm just kidding. 16, did I have any extreme feelings today? No? Okay. What were they not? 17, what are the problems? What are the problem areas in my life today, Raul?
Accepting things as they are.
Okay. 18, which defects played a part in my life today? Man.
Good question.
I made too much fun of Zaid just now, maybe. I could have been a little kinder with that one. Just playing the tape backwards real quick. We'll let my wife take me on inventory on that one. I can't really pick out nothing, man. I was a pretty good boy today. Didn't flip nobody off on the road or nothing. 19, was there fear in my life today? Adam. Any fear?
Fear today?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's fear. There's fear every day.
Fear of what?
Fear, I guess.
Fear of fear?
Yeah, nothing to be afraid of except for myself, right?
All right. Whew. All right. 20. What did I do today that I wish I hadn't done, Daniel?
Slept in.
Slept in?
I would have got my whole
Gym workout. You could have had your workout and helped the new guy if you got up early. Yeah. So it wasn't the new guy's fault after all. Okay. But that sounded a lot kinder, though, didn't it? Yeah. It sounded a lot more humble, giving up your gym time for that. That's the little kind of subtle, the math that we do, though, in our heads. That when we're just, a lot of times when we're just thinking about shit, that we don't come to the terms of it. I mean, it's like people saying, I don't have enough money, I got to make more money. 99% of the time, it's not that we don't make enough money. It's that we're shitty stewards of our money when we get it. We don't manage it well. We piss it away on stupid, shiny shit. If I'd held on to all the money that I'd fucked off, and not even counting dope, just all the other stupid shit that I thought I had to have, I'd be rich beyond my measure, So it's not that I don't make money. And that's one of the reasons why when I got clean this time, I've always done side work my whole life. I didn't do any side work, I needed to start learning how to budget my money and live within my means. And that's exactly what I started doing. No more of that working the weekends and nights and all that stuff. I just don't do it anymore, Yeah, let's see, 22? No? Yeah, 21. Yeah. Am I willing to change? Jeffrey?
Yeah.
All right. Now, 22. Has there been conflict in any area of my life? My relationships, Chris. Yeah. Just take the yes on that one. Okay, we're good with that. 23. Am I maintaining my personal integrity in my relationships with others, Aid?
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, I'm not, yeah.
You do what you say you're going to do?
Yeah. And I don't do things.
Even when you get a better offer?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
What I try to do, though, I'm not going to lie, I try to manipulate it and say, can I do this later and do that at that time? And I try to contact both sources and do what I want.
See, like what I try to do with like commitments and times, first promise, I try to keep the first promise I make to whoever it is that I make it to. So if I tell somebody, hey, I'm going to see you at the meeting tonight, I'm going to see you at the meeting tonight, because to me, that's a date. I expect to see you there. I've already told you I'm going to be there. Now if somebody calls me in the middle of the day and says, hey, just celebrating clean time over here at this meeting, and I just found out about it, well, that's kind of an important, thing. That's a selfless thing. I want to go support a friend of mine. Oh, hey, I'm going to call you up and say, hey, man, can I get a better chance? My wife says, hey, let's do something special tonight, and I already promised you, guess what? I'm going to tell my wife, hey, I already made plans to Zaid because it's, just a commitment thing, I mean, so it keeps me from, to me, that kind of shit keeps me from living my life like a squirrel looking for a nut, always waiting for the better offer. And then I'm cutting bait for this guy. And, I got something else going over here. And I see people live their lives like that all the time and trying to upgrade their lives. And me, then I'm taking away from the importance of the promise that I made in the first place. And I love that 4 Agreements book, be impeccable with my word, do what I say I'm going to do when I say I'm going to do it. And recovery for me, that's a large part, of doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, when I'm supposed to be doing it, where I said I was going to be doing it at, and in the manner I'm supposed to be doing it at. And when I follow through that way, I'm a lot happier with the man I see in the mirror. 23, am I maintaining personal integrity? We did that one. 24, have I harmed myself or others either directly or indirectly today? Antonio?
Yeah. Wow. How? So I got home today from going to a friend's house where I got these 2 shoulder holsters for the dogs. And when I got home, I'm like, Mom, can you please wash these? Because I didn't want to put them on them without being washed. And she looked at it and she said, they're not comfortable. And I'm like, what do you mean they're not comfortable? I can tell by looking. I'm like, how can you tell? Why don't we wash it and try to, and then I looked at her and I said, are you too lazy to do it? Is that what it is? And
oh, that went over great, didn't it?
Yeah. So yeah. That's
All right. Yeah. You hurt your mommy's feelings. You got to make up for that one. Do I have an apology or an amends? We can let you have that one too.
Yeah.
Okay. 26. Where was I wrong? Yeah, that's going right on into you, man.
Yeah. In not considering a no as an answer when I got a no, all I had to do was wash my damn motherfucking self.
Yeah.
You know, but my expectation wasn't met.
Right.
And then I kind of retaliated, being too lazy to do it.
So you expected her answer to be yes.
Yeah.
And
And
that's not what you got. Aw, I hate when that happens. After all you've done for her and are doing for her. Yeah, we get that stuff going on too. That helps. She gave birth to you and spit out a watermelon head and shit. Yeah, from a pee hole, but yeah, that's all right. That's way back there. Yeah. She owes me now. No, but I mean that's the kind of shit that King Baby in our heads come up with, you know. I mean, and that those are those little nudges, you know, that they're not a big deal, especially if we just go clean them up immediately. And I just feel better when I just do that. But no, my head wants to take a little thing like that and build a fucking case and then turn it into, you know, a bad few hours instead of just a stupid moment that I had a ridiculous expectation that wasn't met. Okay, so did I stay clean today, 27, Sean? I hope so.
Sir.
All right. 28 was being good to yourself today. Raul? 29, what were the feelings I had today? How did I use them to choose a principle-centered action? I had a little extra time today. I was actually meditating at work. Boss walked in on me. That was quite embarrassing. He opens the door of my little cubbyhole office. Got my earbuds in and my eye thing on. I was like, I got the shade off my eyes just as he cracked the door open, you know, but you know, he could tell I wasn't sleeping, and you know, I'm like, yeah, I was meditating. Like, oh, okay. And I'm at lunch. It was all cool, but you know, a little embarrassing thing, you know, like it, and that was something I used to get embarrassed about too. Oh man, I don't want people to think I'm doing this kind of stuff, you know. Think, oh man, yeah, they're gonna think I'm some kind of zealot or some shit like that, you know. Feelings, but no big deal. 30. What did I do to be of service today, Adam?
I'm running the camera.
Cameraman, trying to make this guy look good. That's high-reaching spiritual principles there, because that's an impossible task. 31. What have I done today about which I feel positive, Daniel?
20-minute workout.
All right. Well, that's nothing. What do you? No, I'm just kidding. I'm doing to you what you just did to yourself earlier. I know, ain't gonna get nowhere in a 20-minute workout. But getting there is half the battle. 33, right? What did I do today that I want to be sure to repeat, Jeff?
What did I do today that I want to? Oh, the same thing that happened today, I want to happen tomorrow. Get a lot accomplished.
Did you have a good day today? Got a lot done?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, I love those days, man. Every once in a while you get one. 34. Did I go to a meeting and talk to another recovering addict today? X. All right. Did I go to a meeting? Yeah. 35. What do I have to be grateful for today? Chris with a K from California.
Shelter, friend, family. Let's go.
Me.
Big old long list. Okay. Yeah, we all can. So leading up that end there on 101. Did I read? I don't think I read. Okay, I'm supposed to read this part next. Yeah, okay, so I did not read this. So the spiritual principles of step 10, and that's the way it lays out in the whole book after they do the questions. The very next thing is the spiritual principles questions that give you a more specific direction of how to apply them. And it says, with my glasses on here, spiritual principles in the 10th step, we'll focus on self-discipline, honesty. Yeah. Self-discipline, honesty, and integrity. It's on page 101 if you haven't. In the 10th step, in the step working guide, not the basic text. Okay. All right. In the 10th step, we'll focus on self-discipline, honesty, integrity. Self-discipline is essential to our recovery. When we were using, we were self-seeking and self-absorbed. We always took the easy way out, giving in to our impulses, ignoring any opportunity for personal growth. If there is anything in our lives that required regular commitment, chances are that we only followed through if it wasn't too hard, if it didn't get in the way of our self-indulgence, or if we happen to like it. So we have all those little options of this is how far we'll go, right? Self-discipline of recovery calls on us to do certain things regardless of how we feel. We need to go to meetings regularly, even if we're tired, busy at work, having fun, or filled with despair. We need to go regularly, even when, especially when, we're feeling hostile towards the demands that recovery makes on us. We go to meetings, call our sponsor, and work with others because we have decided that we want recovery in NA. And those are the things, or those things are the actions that will help assure our continued recovery. Sometimes we're enthusiastic about these activities. Sometimes it takes every bit of willingness we possess to continue with them. Sometimes they become so woven into our daily existence, we're hardly aware that we're even doing them. It's a little nice to get to that point. And then fast forward to the very end of it on page 103. Working the 10th step makes it possible for us to achieve more balance and harmony in our lives. We find that we're happy and serene much more often than not. Feeling out of sorts becomes so rare when it happens, it's a signal that something is wrong. We can readily identify the cause of our discomfort by taking personal inventory. What am I not doing? The personal freedom that has been building since we began working the steps yields an increase in our choices and options. We have total freedom to create any kind of life we want for ourselves. We begin to look at the meaning and we begin to look for meaning and purpose in our lives. We ask ourselves if the lifestyle we have chosen helps the still suffering addict or makes the world a better place in some other way. What we are searching for, we'll find in the 11th step. Really, dude, that's a great step. And so much of it, the corrective actions that the book just leads us to, gives us specific directions of what we need to be aiming into. And we got to have some purpose, get out of our selfishness, not be angry, not be afraid. It tells us to look for all the stuff we've been working to get away from the very start, from all the inventories. But it is a progress. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. It's one of those things where we definitely have to give ourselves a break and be happy with ourselves for making the progress that we are. But at the same time, holding ourselves accountable for what we can do. If we're sitting back saying, this little thing's like, I'm not on that step yet, so I don't have to worry about amends. I remember sharing shit like that, when I was younger, not at a 9th step yet. It's like, thank God I'm not at that step yet. I don't got to worry about it. Well, if I plan on sticking around here, there's not a step that I'm not going to get to. So if I'm still reaping havoc on and leaving a wake of destruction in my path from everywhere I come through, and living life turning and burning and not caring about what I do, the damage I do to people or anything else, then I'm really basically what I'm saying is I don't plan on being around here very long. And I certainly don't ever plan on ever paying any of it back. And when I start realizing and holding myself accountable for my actions, that no matter what I do to damage something, that I got to do the corrective measure to correct it, and not allow myself to just bury the bone deep and forget about it, that I've got to go back to do what I can to put it back together. Anyway, I think that's about it. Can I pound that nail in any harder? there anything else? Anybody got anything to say on it? Pretty thorough. Ready to close?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. All right. Moment of silence for those of us who need it. Many of us have said, take our will in our lives, guide us in our recoveries, and show us how to live. Wah, 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 wah.